Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Moss, and we are here with a little bit of historic gameplay today. Now, it's a few days after the release of Shadows over Innistrad Remastered slash just Innistrad Remastered because new set, lots of cool new things, and a super set with stuff from basically every single Innistrad block. Definitely had to check this one out. And lo and behold, when I look through the release of all the cards that came out, Lingering Souls, this beautiful, perfectly fair Magic card, took me all the way back to the glory days of 2017, 2018, pre-Modern Horizons 1 Modern. The good days, the heyday of Mardu Pyromancer. And now, we're going to try out Mardu Pyromancer the pure way, or at least mostly pure way, in Historic. Now, for those of you who aren't modern boomers like myself, Mardu Pyromancer 3-color combo hinges on Young Pyromancer, Faithless Looting, and Lingering Souls, all kind of synergizing and feeding off of one another. Now, the original 2017 deck ran things like Bedlam Reveler, ran things like the Nahiri that came out during Shadows block. We're going to make some slight changes. This deck is going to look a lot more like the Pioneer Rakdos deck with a little bit of a white splash to it. So, combining the old modern one, got Inquisition, got Thoughtseize, got the unfortunately banned in modern Faithless Looting. Typical things. Got Bloodtithe Harvester, got Young Peasy, got Kroxa. Lingering Souls, obviously, making some extra spirits, synergizing here. We can ditch it here, we can ditch it here. We can ditch it to Liliana of the Veil. We can ditch it to Fable. We can ditch it to Seasoned Pyromancer. We can ditch it to Nahiri the Unforgiving, which, just so happens, can reanimate basically everything in our deck with ease. Couple that with a good bit of lands, and then typical Rakdos-y sideboard things, spicing it up just a little bit with Sheoldred, with Chandra, with Kaya, but overall, that's the deck, and I will see you guys in match number 1. Alright, so, match number 1, and we are going to be on the draw with a fairly interesting hand. The Fable on 3 definitely makes me want to keep this, so I think we're actually going to try this one. Admittedly, this is kind of a bad start if things don't work out perfectly, but I really do think this hand can do things. Starting to feel a little less confident in it now that we see the second Fable. Okay, so opponent's doing some blue-red prowess things. About what we could expect, in all honesty. Let's go ahead and just play Blood Crypt tapped and say go. Now, I haven't really been keeping up a lot with the historic meta as much, just because there hasn't been a lot of attention on this format as far as Arena goes. There's been a number of streamers that have started making their way to Historic Brawl, but not really so much with Ranked Historic. There's maybe the occasional Kroki's deck that shows up. But beyond that, not too much attention, alright? Symmetry Sage. Interesting. Just gonna go Blackcleave and play Fable. Now, again, this is where this deck can kind of do really well. If I can start to go off then I'm going to feel really good about keeping this hand. But that's going to be completely contingent upon a number of things. So they strangle our token, they play a den tapped, and then they swing. Okay, so again, we're kind of a mid-range deck, so we can deal with this. Let's ditch those. Draw 2 more. This doesn't feel great either. I think we're just going to play Seasoned Pyro, hope that it sticks. Okay. Seasoned Pyro is probably about to eat it, but, you know. Wow, we have just hit a major land pocket. We're only running like 24 lands, and there's 4, 8, 11. Yikes. Okay, well, this definitely at least means that our next couple of, like, draws should be just straight gas. At least one would hope. Okay, so opponent's really thinking about just killing this one or saving it until their turn. If they don't top deck a land, it feels better. Interesting. Okay, so scry 2, draw 2. Cool. Cool. Okay. So opponent basically got to do the equivalent of like modern Darcy Consider. Huh. I mean, yeah, we got to take this 3 in the air. But that's fine. Dreadhorde Arcanist. That is not a great card for us to be facing down at this exact moment. We're gonna go ahead and play this Shrine tapped. This really begs the question of, do we want to take this Strangle? And I think we do, if only because the only other thing that they can cast right now would be the Consider. But Consider takes out a good amount of things in our deck. We don't mind taking another 3 here. Unless opponent's got an Unholy Heat. But even then, they are just one type away from Delirium. Okay, they do have the Wizard's Lightning. That's an issue. And now they do have Delirium, so they can Unholy Heat and kill anything on our board. In fact, Unholy Heat kills everything on our board, which is rough. Now let's see what our opponent does here with their Expressive. Kind of surprising that they didn't go for the target on Arcanist, but it actually makes a little bit of sense, unfortunately. So they could flash back this Expressive iteration off of the Dreadhorde trigger. And again, we're just really trying to bank on drawing nothing but gas from this point forward. As long as they don't kill our Reflection, we're fine. Well, we were fine. Even then, I really just want to risk it. I think we can take 8 here. Like, or 6, and go down to 8. This really doesn't feel fantastic, and okay. Not the worst draw for us in this situation. Let's just tick down. Okay. And we'll make a 2/2, and we'll hang back. Now, chances are they're going to kill our Seasoned Pyro. That's almost guaranteed at this point. Okay, so they play Balmor. Okay. They Reckless Rage. Okay, so they are killing our entire board right now. It would be... Oh, brutal. Okay, GG opponent. Alright. So, let's see what we can sideboard. In this situation, I think Flame Blessed Bolt's going to be really good for us here. Kaya's actually really good, as is Hidetsugu Consumes All. Honestly, we've got so many targets as far as removal goes, with maybe the exception of K-Command, as like the only one. Now, cards that aren't great for us here. As much as I really love Thoughtseize, I feel like going down some number of it, just considering how much removal we are boarding in, probably ideal for us here. So, let's go with that. Okay. Hopefully this one can turn out just a little bit better. Alright, we're going to be on the play. Again, another 5-card hand. After that last one feels kind of bad, but at least in this one we have removal and we have Young Pyro. This hand's a little bit better of a keep, at least given that circumstance. That being said, I think we're going to hold off on playing Peasy until turn 3. Okay. So, we can definitely let that go. We're cool taking 3 here. Admittedly, Symmetry Sage gonna hurt for us in basically any circumstance. Yep, opponent dings in for 3. Cool. Then they get us with that extra little bit. Okay. So we gotta take out that Soulscar Mage. Alright, so now we feel just a little bit more confident about this. Let's go ahead and take out the Symmetry Sage because that's going to do the most damage to us here. We got a blocker on the ground, so they have to take out both of our threats. Expressive, cool. Opponent needs Reckless Rage in order to make this a super profitable exchange. Wizard's Lightning and a land also works. Okay. Block with the token. Okay. So let's Faithless Looting. Make a blocker. Honestly, let's drop both of those. It's super tempting, and realistically, we probably should drop that Faithless Looting. Okay, and now we feel less bad about getting rid of it, or rather, not getting rid of it. I mean, we swing, we know they block. And now they have to have just an obscene amount of removal to make this even remotely profitable for them. And then next turn we can go Liliana downtick Lingering Souls if we get to keep our hand the way that it is. Okay. Just block with 1. Okay, opponent knows what's up. They're about to kill our Young Pyro. Or, I guess not. Okay. Let's start by casting this Lingering Souls and seeing what they do. Okay, opponent didn't counter it. So either they played around and kept the... Okay, yeah. So they did the smart thing. I think we're actually just going to go ahead and swing in with the 1 in the air. And maybe next turn we can flash back this looting and get some pretty decent removal off of it. Just another push would be insane for us. Okay, opponents got their Chandra. Now what are they going to do with her? Surely their hand can't be that good. Okay, they exile. Interesting, so they're just going for the straight up damage. And no attack out of the opponent. Sweet. Flashback looting. Oh, wow, this is so good for us right here. Okay. The question is, do we want to risk it? And I think the answer is yes. Oh, gosh. These have just been dog water. Okay. That's 6. You know what? I think we can actually just kind of swing all. So, like, Chandra dies, because we can't let her accrue any more value. We can basically block Soulscar Mage on the ground all day. Balmor hurts us, though. Okay, so this Wizard's deck is a lot more aggressive than I wanted it to be, but not really that surprising considering we are not being the removal deck that we should be. We're just going to chump. Alright, what's opponent got? Ooh, targeting our Young Pyro. Interesting. Kind of surprised that they didn't do that before the attack. Okay. So now we definitely feel a lot better about doing this. Kill Balmor. Play Season. Ooh. Okay. This is actually really good. Let's go ahead and just kill the Symmetry Sage. And swing out on the ground. Now, next turn, we should win. Like, there would have to be a lot that would have to go wrong with this hand in order for us to not win. Okay. So, they scry and draw their 2. But we chump. We force them to get rid of something with Lily. Well, now they only have one thing that they can get rid of, actually. So we get to swing through for lethal. Opponent's thinking. Unless they have another creature in hand, this is the game. Come on. You can do it. Okay, play your den. Chump City. Mm, I don't know why. I just don't trust it. Okay. Um, well. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and... Okay, sweet. Alright, on to sideboarding. Mm, honestly, I think we can just kind of run it back. Alright, so let's do that. Alright, so game number 3. Alright, let's see what our opponent does. Now, this game, we're probably not going to keep a 5-land hand if that wasn't already obvious. Like, painfully so. And luck is definitely on our side right now. This hand's just super keepable, like instant keep. No question about it. Okay, so they Symmetry Sage, we Hive, and we Inquo. Alright, we just take Mentor's Guidance here because, like, there's no other option. Okay, so we're just going to play that tapped and say go. And the moment that they try to target their Dreadhorde with anything, we kill it. Like, no remorse, just murder. Okay. Wow. Opponent is stuck on land. But guess who isn't? Alright. Oh, the question is, who do we want to hit, though? So, I think Symmetry Sage is actually the take here, if only because those would get pumped, and we've got chumps. And then I think we've actually got another interesting question that we want to ask ourselves here. Do we want to cast both of our Kroxas? I think that's actually a really interesting question. And it is largely dependent on what our next draw looks like. Who? Okay, so let's start by looting. Make a blocker. Oh, buddy. Alright, cool. Drop both of those. Let's go and play this out. Chances are our opponent's going to get rid of their Chandra or their other Dreadhorde. Perfect. Other Dreadhorde is down. We now have enough cards in hand to reanimate Kroxa next turn. And if they just waste this turn killing our creature, then we feel really happy about this spot. Now, the one thing that wouldn't be great is... Okay. Alright, so we have to be very careful about our next couple of hands here. Okay. What's opponent gonna get rid of? Ooh, Wizard's Light. Are they about to double Wizard's Lightning? Wow, that is super aggressive. Okay. Play land, say go. Yeah. No. No question, no notes. I really just want to block here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we got 3 cards in yard. Let's just go ahead and do this. Because if our opponent, like, is forced to animate a den next turn, then we feel great about where we are. And we have no problem losing our Kroxas in this exact instance. Or they could bounce it. Allergies. Allergies are absolutely killing me. Okay, so we're going to pass. If our opponent has Brazen Borrower, they got us. But it doesn't look like they do. Okay. Okay. And before attacks. Ooh. Alright. Let's see how long we can let our souls linger. Does the questionable keep with our tiny peeps actually help us out? Are we gonna get through this game? This might be the win. I don't know if our opponent actually has an out in this situation. I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. All right. For every single thing that they can pull, we can pull one too, apparently. Man, Brotherhood's End was not a card I was expecting out of this deck. All right. All right. You do you. Okay. So, I think we're going to go ahead and just Faithless Looting here. Both of those are down. We're going to go ahead and make you discard whatever you've got in hand. Oh, wow. So you just aggressively Wizard's Lightninged our Lily. Well, we're going to go ahead and just take that. Hope that you can't do anything else. Mentor's Guidance. Oh. Alright, let's see if Lily can make lightning strike twice. Ooh. Opponent. Evil. Love it. That's such a good line. Wow. Alright, so now it's a race. So, opponent can really make us have it here in a way that I don't think we're ready for. Yep, that's not going to do it for us. Ooh. We are definitely backpedaling. Alright, opponent, I think, is clawing back with this one. That top deck Brazen Borrower is putting in some serious work. Alright. Man! Okay, the Wizard's Lightning really... That's number 3 for them, though? Alright, so they're swinging in for 4. Do we have anything to really help us here, though? I don't think another one's gonna do it, because next turn they're swinging in for 5? I mean, we can block their den? But still, 5 damage is a lot, and when we don't really have a way to gain life, I think they got us. Yep, Otawara seals it. Alright, give our opponent the good game. That was intense. Alright, I'll see you guys in match number 2. Alright, we are on the play in match number 2. And it's pretty solid. Lots of looting effects. Lots of looting effects in the opening hand. Opponent is considering their hand. But what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Are they gonna keep it or not? What you gonna do, opponent? Pew pew. Zoomer noises. Obviously, you know, the boomer deck on the Zoomer format. Gotta do it. Opponent is just really thinking over this hand as hard as they can. Hopefully, they make a choice. Obviously, the opponent just fears the potential of Marduing it to him. Too bad that looting was a little Mardu-do. Alright. Opponent can't be asleep at the wheel here. They're definitely just trying to troll something. No way. No way that you're just gonna sit there. I mean, we'll take the free win. A win's a win. But this is not chill if you just let us sit here, opponent. We have struck the fear into our opponent. They fear us more doing it to them. And they just don't want to watch it happen at all. Alright, we'll take a win. See you guys in match number 3, I guess? Yeah, no, I definitely had fun, Arena. I totally enjoy sitting there while George apparently is watching this person get horrible draws. If you know, you know. Alright, match number 3 with a pretty terrible first hand. Second hand's a little bit better. Kind of tempted to do it like this. Playing 2 Fable of the Mirror Breaker can't really be a bad thing for us. Alright, start by Faithless. Let's drop Blood Crypt, and let's drop a Fable. It feels so weird to drop a Fable, but it doesn't feel inherently wrong. Alright, let's play Young Pyro. Surely they don't want to counter this? Okay, interesting. So we have a control opponent. A Grixis control opponent. Alright. Opponent really is out here trying to be evil incarnate, and I can, like, mildly support that. Alright, so what you gonna do? Cycle of Xander's Lounge. Okay. I mean, you got all your colors, I would imagine. So that's only reasonable. Now, the big question is, we can draw 4 cards this next turn. Oh yeah, no, we're definitely drawing 4 cards this turn. Yeah, not even a question. Okay. Swinging in with our Goblin Shaman. We're going to cast Looting, second main. Perfect. And then we're going to play Haunted Ridge and cast another Fable. Okay, the fact that our opponents let 2 of these things resolve now either feels like they're about to do something just spectacularly bad for us, or they're just sitting there on stone cold nothing. Okay, so we're gonna just drop the Godless Shrine. Okay. Part of me really thinks that our opponent just has, like, some type of board wipe in hand. So I think we're just going to go ahead and sit on this Fatal Push and on this Seasoned Pyro. Draw 2, that's fine. What else could you be doing? And there's just something about the context of this hand that I don't like. Molten Impact. You know? Yeah. We're just gonna fizzle your spell. I don't trust that. I don't trust them, their alchemy cards. We play pure and honest Magic the Gathering cards in this here household. Well, here I was talking about pure and honest Magic the Gathering cards, and then you play this nonsense. Okay, you're gonna discard a card. You discarded a land. You sought out something with a greater mana value. That can only bode well. I said facetiously. Okay, so what's our opponent gonna do here? I mean, okay. What you got? Show me what you got. Oh, wow. Okay, you were starting to question that. Yeah. And then I'll just take this. I mean, go ahead and kill our reflection. That's fine. We know that you're gonna. Alright, go ahead. Alright, opponent. I'm just gonna chump. Either you have it or you don't. And surely, you're not just gonna, like, discard that because I know about it. But let's see what they do. Oh. I forgot that they added this in the Innistrad set. Yeah. Ooh. Is opponent gonna go for the twofer? Ooh. Are they hitting us with the extra value? Man. Okay. Opponent just absolutely out here doing just horrifying things. See, now I'm almost a little scared of our opponent just... Okay, so they're not actually going to animate their land at any point. So we can hold on to the Fatal Push in hand for a little bit. And I mean, we are making enough stuff to where it doesn't feel as bad. Well, except now. We're definitely doing it. Get wrecked. Get absolutely wrecked. Cool. You took out our graveyard opponent. Now play your pirate. Okay, opponent discarded a land. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do that and then just pass. Opponent could animate their Hall, and if they do, we're just going to block with a 1/1. It's crazy to think that a, 7/7 with all of these abilities is just somehow like not... Wow, okay. Well, in that case, opponents out here doing all of their alchemy things. And we're just going to be out here doing all of our 2017 modern things with a little extra work. Really? Drown in the lock. Okay. Well, you know what, opponent? Do you want to trade? Because we'll trade. You're looking back at your hand an awful lot. Ah, opponent. Not even gonna let us have just a little fun? Is this where you animate now? Is this where you make that choice? You got it. We will happily take 3, opponent. Ooh. Okay. Let's see what you got. Okay. Opponent doesn't animate. So does that mean that they're going to go for the big animate on our next turn? Opponent's got 32 cards in deck. despite the fact that they are seeking every single turn, they've been fairly conservative with like how much deck thinning they're doing. Okay, so now they're gonna draw 2 cards. Yep. Honestly, we're kind of fine taking 5 this turn. It's maybe not the greatest thing for us, but it's better than taking 12. Okay, so opponents got to avoid exactly, this situation. That or they have to have a counter spell of some variety. Which would actually do it for them. Please don't have... Ah, man. Alright, GG, opponent. Man. That counter spell. Alright, so in this situation, what do we want to bring in? Shelly doesn't feel as good as it could be. Necromentia actually doesn't feel terrible. And something that's either K-Command or there's options. I think maybe Shelly's actually not a bad consideration. Because they do try to gain a lot of card advantage. Nahiri's not great, and as far as other cards in this deck that aren't the best, having all of those looting effects isn't super great. Seasoned Pyro's fine, but as we saw there, it can leave you wanting. Alright. So, let's see how things go in game number 2 when we are on the play. Hand is okay. Admittedly not the greatest, but can't really go too wrong with a opening like this. Personally, I really want to drop a Sokenzan, and the question now kind of becomes, do we want to drop Seasoned Pyro, Fable, or Lily? Because this is body removal, but we're putting ourselves down a card when we don't necessarily want to be down more. Honestly, as weird as it sounds, I think we're cool dropping Fatal Push there, if only because we don't have anything great to remove in the early game. And now we feel a little bit better about that decision. Okay, so as far as cards that we want to be rid of here, I think Go Blank is the worst, followed by Brotherhood's End. And then if they just play a raw Snapcaster, we feel happy about that exchange. But we'll go Fable here. And they're never going to go just raw Snap. Okay, so put a land into exile. Okay, so again, I think we're fine just keeping everything in hand. Let's Thoughtseize and see what they got. Okay, so they have Brotherhoods and 2 Snappies. Let's go Brotherhood's End here, and admittedly, they're probably going to want to do something crazy, but we're going to go ahead and play Lily here. Lily is probably the best case for us, and we can just drop our Seasoned Pyro. Okay, tick up, drop Seasoned Pyro. Okay, and they drop a land. Alright, so opponent just played land and passed. Flip our reflection. Play land. Play Fable. Okay, so opponent played a charm. Well, we're just going to make opponent discard. And this is where they're probably going to go ahead and do the Snapcaster and... probably Snapcaster and Go Blank? That seems like the most reasonable set of things for them to do. Yeah, opponent's looking at what they can do, so it's either Snapcaster and Brotherhood's End, or they Snapcaster and they Go Blank. Go Blank is probably the best for them in this scenario, just because of the stuff that we're doing with our graveyard, but who knows. Opponent is really mulling over this decision. Goodness. Alright, come on. You can do it. There we go. Alright, opponent finally let their snappy go, and yep, go blank. Because again, we're doing so much with our graveyard that it would really make sense for them to just do something with it. Alright, we're going to make them sack. We're going to animate our Hive. We're going to make a copy. Aww. Auto Tapper, why? Why did you forsake me like this? Ugh. That was wildly unfair, Auto Tapper. Alright, so what now? Opponent's just gonna Molten Impact and destroy our whole board? That's wildly unfair too. I mean, I get it, but alright, so what do we want to get rid of here? Archmage's Charm just feels super bad for us because we don't want him to counter anything. But they've also got this on their stack. And now it's gone. So hand, exile, cool. What you gonna play though? That's the big question. Because you can't take any of our lands with that, thankfully. You could push something, but that's just still buying me kind of an extra turn. So, what you gonna do, opponent? Okay, so Snap Expressive is definitely a line. That is a pretty good line, all things considered. Man, and it really does not help that we are just seeing nothing but lands right now. Alright, so we really just want to get rid of this expressive and stop them from going off a third time? Okay. So, good news, well, alright. That is a bolus. That is an active bolus that is doing a whole lot. Yeah, we're getting rid of a treasure. Like, not even surprising we're getting rid of a treasure. Thankfully, our opponent can't, like, destroy any of our stuff, but we just keep drawing lands. Okay. Let's go ahead and take out 2 of their cards that they could use for something malicious. It would be so great if we could just get a single card. Something. Well, that is not something that we were hoping for. Can definitely say that. That being said, if we do get a Fatal Push off the top, that feels fine. Maybe not incredible for us, but not the worst. Okay, so cool. I'll drop a land. Now, if we got like a Fatal Push here or a Thoughtseize, just something that let us see into their hand, I wouldn't feel bad about this. But again, just something. Something, deck. Alright. Come on. Let me see something besides a land. I said something besides a land. Alright. If you're gonna push it, push it. Yep. Oh, brother. This is rough. Alright, so let's drop a land. Opponents just one turn away from doing us dirty with the Bolus ult. No way that we're about to lose again. Let's see. 4, 5, ooh, Lord. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We've seen at least half of the lands in our deck the last 2 matches we've lost. Wow. Brutal. GG opponent. Alright. See you guys in the final match. Alright. Match number 5. And we're going to be on the draw. And hand does everything that we actually need it to. Besides letting us play Young Pyro on 2 reasonably. But we're going to keep. We're going to Swamp Inquo on 1. Playing against a Jengatha deck, we're probably playing against Death Shadow. But even then, there's still more of a Lurrus deck. Okay. So seeing Overgrown 2 makes me think it could also be Jund? No, they're something. They are a 4-5 color pile? of some sort. Right now they're about to have like cool. Couple different land types on the field. That's okay. You do you, opponent. Scarab God? Are they basically just doing Niv to light? Or Omnath to light, I guess? Okay. You buy Jeff. Fable. Huh. Okay, so Thoughtseize off the top is gonna feel just incredible. Because in every other situation, we are not feeling great about the state of where we're going. And that state is misery. Get it? Misery. Okay. Oof. Alright, so drop the push, drop the souls. Ah, this isn't that much better. Let's go ahead and just play Young Pyro out in this situation. We will shock that in, play that out. And we're going to make some blockers, thankfully. But not much else is going to happen out of this hand. Opponent gets to cycle a card and see a little bit more, but wow, this deck is definitely throwing us for a loop right now. And right now they've got everything except for the white mana. Like, they're just missing everything but a plains from having domain. Are they going to play Jeggy? This is definitely a set of questions. This is definitely a deck. Hydroid Crisis? What are you doing, opponent? I am so very confused about everything that is going on in the state of this deck. Okay, I actually don't hate this, though. So, I think we're gonna go and do it like that. Question is, though, what card do we want to take here? What? Okay, so Territorial Kavu, Yasharn, Scarab God. Scarab God is probably the scariest. Jingotha, not so much, just extra mana. Kavu, not super scary because it dies to push. Yasharn, not super scary. This is probably the worst one for us. Okay. And then we're just gonna pass. So, like, next turn opponent can just double spell here, or if they drew a land, I guess they can technically, like, do better. Okay, so you get your 2. You get to make your Kavu happen. And next turn, you get to have a full flavor Kavu. Okay, so which one do we actually want to get rid of here? Okay. So now we actually have a serious problem. Okay. So that'll just stay kind of a static 3. Oh, I don't like that. They're meticulously... Okay. Whew! I was worried. Like, they're about to do something gross. But if the worst that they're gonna do is just, like, maybe play Jeff, I'm kind of cool with that, actually. And they can't really swing with Yasharn because we're just gonna, like, block it to death on the ground. Okay, cool. So you Lightning Helix? That's fine, actually. We're gonna eat up your Kavu. And then next turn, we're just gonna go ahead and play this other Fable out. Like, there's a part of me that really just wants to, like, flash that back, see what we can do. Oh, wow. Okay, so... Problem is, we can't actually sack it for Yasharn. And that's the part that feels really bad. And it's like, we can force him to attack, and we can block with everything. It's super weird, but I actually think we want to do it like this. Yeah, we're gonna do it like that. Play land out, and just pass. So as far as the Battle of the Boards goes, we're about to have the better board. Okay, so now, there we go. Knew it was coming. I knew that this was a Niv Mizzet deck. Alright, so mid-range versus value. Man, this is honestly really hard to even evaluate as like a reasonable matchup. Because it's just like, well, we can... What can we do here? So, like, none of our creatures actually feel kind of worth it in this situation. Okay, so we're going to force Jengatha to attack. And then we're just going to do this. We'll chump, take 3, block with an obscene amount. Evil. 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 Cool. So Niv is just gonna eat up Nahiri, yep. And there is not a whole lot more that we can do in this situation. Yep, they played Teferi. They're gonna start gaining a lot more value than we can actually deal with. Sheesh. Well, I think we might just want to pack this one in, because that is brutal. Alright. So, 5-color, basically money pile. Necromentor's coming in to name Niv. Extinction Event's coming in. Sheoldred's coming in. And I actually want to say Invoke Despair comes in, if for only the reason of that deck relies on just like a handful of creatures being on the board at any one time. Nahiri comes out, and then it's some number of these like weaker targeted removal spells. Like I really want to say we go down like 2 push, and honestly it might be Lily or Seasoned Pyro. We want to stop them from getting things into their hand, but the moment that they get like a Niv, it's spelling our end. And Seasoned Pyro can just get kind of gummed up in our hand, especially if we have like good spells that we want to use. See, this is a very difficult situation for us to be in. I think we're going to say we drop a Seasoned Pyro just because, again, removing assets from our opponent's hand, pretty big for us. Alright. We're going to be on the play. Hand looks okay, actually. So the Castle Locthwain and Blackcleave doesn't look great, but Faithless Looting really solves a lot of that problem for us. And here we see the optimal Faithless Looting for us. Discarding 2 Lingering Souls, and as long as we somehow don't get hit with like premier graveyard hate, this doesn't feel like the worst situation for us. We could have shocked that in and then just had, a couple blockers up, but it feels good for this exact scenario that we definitely did not intend on seeing. And alright, cool. Now we just name Niv Mizzet Reborn and hope that we just see 0 in our opponent's hand. Yeah, so board wipe, vetoes, and Helix. We've got 4 Nivs, Culling Ritual, Prismari Command, Klothys feels interesting. Helixes, Crassus, yeah. And then a single to Fairy also is surprising. It looks like they took out basically everything else, though. So they are really leaning heavy on just these Kavus and Klothys to Fairy and Jaggy, getting them there. Now, we can't actually do a whole lot currently, like casting into particular spells in their hand and whatnot. Now, if they Lightning Helix this, we don't really hate that situation so much. Okay, they shock. And oh wow, they Vanishing Verse. Okay, so we still actually don't mind this as much. Okay, so and doing this, dropping a Faithless Looting. Again, if only because the only thing we fear right now is just that like Lightning Helix. They're not doing anything to knock this down significantly, and they have to have another Vanishing Verse in hand to adequately do that. Next turn they can play Jegantha, but they'll be Jengantha at that hand, or at that point, I suppose. Okay, so you got us there, opponent. Let's actually just play another Fable out. We're gonna try and put our opponent as behind as possible. Okay, so they drop a Clarion. Now, oddly enough, our deck has really just been hurting us with all of the lands it was giving us in the first couple of games, and now we're stuck on 3. Again, George in the Mana Screw, Mana Flood department, really trying to earn his like extra pay today. We're actually gonna decline that. Okay. So, what's our opponent gonna do? Like, if they... Wow, they were just straight up. Okay. We know that they got 2 cards in their hand. Wow, they got rid of both of the lands. So... Interesting. Okay. What they get rid of out of this hand will tell us what we get to do. Alright, we're flashing back a Lingering Soul. Alright, if they play Jeggy here, we're fine. Or they can just scoop it up. That's even better. Alright, run it back. No questions. No choices. Brain, go, burr. And Niv, go, burr. Alright. So, opponent, you're going to be on the play. What you got for us? Ooh, I love this hand. And they're mulliganing. Oh, this hand is so good. We can Den and Faithless Looting on 1, and then we can start to maybe sculpt our hand a little bit. Alright, so opponent went down to 6. Alright. We gotta loot. And that looting might have been faithless, but we are definitely full of the faith right now. Holy cow. Okay. So opponent's got a Kabu. Cool. Let's loot. Let's loot again. Alright, so we're gonna do that. And we are going to look at what you got going. Alright, so Klothys and Niv. Klothys is the obvious choice here. I wish we could take Niv. Like, that would be incredible for us in this situation, but alas, we can't. They buy Jeggy. They're gonna eat our Kroxa or eat a Faithless Looting from our yard. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and actually just play a Fable. And it really hurts. It really hurts, but I don't think that we want to take some more damage off of our mana base here. Okay. Ooh, and they're missing black. They're missing a number of colors, actually, for their Niv. If they do get another one, they can play Jegantha, which won't feel super great for us, but okay. We will drop a land. Ooh, push. Perfect, 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 perfect. Okay. Play that there. Play this. Eat Klothys. Swing. Okay. And we are just going to go ahead and do that. Because it stops him from even having a chance of looting. We just have to hope that they get, like, mana screwed right here. Okay, Clarion. Clarion feels really good for us. Can Clarion get us Therion? Okay. If... Ooh, okay. Another Kavu. You know, I actually think... Okay, so we definitely do this. We do that. And let's go ahead and play it out. Alright, our opponent getting mana screwed right now is really hurting them. If this reflection can stick around for one more turn, we don't care if they play Gigantha this turn. Oh, that doesn't feel so great. That feels actively terrible. Alright. Ooh, wait a second. Wait a second. Did we get there? Holy cow. Alright. We got there. Let's go. Alright. Not the worst record, not the best record. Didn't really go up a whole lot on the ladder, but hey, a win is a win. So, with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the wrap-up. Alright, so, finished with a 3-2 record. What do we think of, actually, Mardu Pyromancer in Historic? This is a deck that was running 0, like, actually 0 alchemy cards, and the deck felt fairly strong. There's a couple of things that definitely do feel iffy about it. The mana base, there's a chance that we might be running just a touch too many lands, and this is as someone who chronically just goes way under the actual amount of lands that they need to be running. So this is probably a really strong consideration for the future and any future iterations of this deck. Liliana, Kroxa, all those feel good. Is it worth maybe looking at running Bedlam Reveler over some number of Seasoned Pyromancers? The answer is maybe. Seasoned Pyro gets caught in hand a lot, and sure, being able to play it on 3 is fine, but chances are you're really never playing it on 3. But if we lean as hard as we are into the discard synergies, maybe it makes sense to run Bedlam Reveler. The sideboard feels like a sideboard. There's definitely things that could be done differently, more than likely. And the deck just played well. It felt like it was 2017 all over again. I woke up from that, crazy nightmare that was everything since 2017, world-wise and magic-wise. And I just felt right back where I should have been. Deck is sweet. Definitely check it out. Definitely like and subscribe to our channel. See you guys in the next one. Peace.